Happy Sabbath, family. Today is Saturday, August 1st, 2026. It's the beginning of Black Business Month, and today I want to celebrate Black business in the same spirit that the United Nations has been recognizing, honoring, and advancing people of African descent around the world for the past 12 years. Some of y'all say, what? The United Nations has been celebrating black folk. We ain't heard too much about it. Exactly. A whole lot of people in the United States hadn't said much about it. Whole lot of political leaders hadn't said much about it. And I don't know how you feel about it, but to be completely honest, a whole lot of the black church ain't said much about it. Let me put you up on it. Beginning 2015, the United Nations established an entire decade-long celebration of people of African descent. Not a weekend, y'all. Not a heritage month, not a commemorative banquet, an entire decade. And when the first decade ended in 2024, the United Nations, you know what they did? Established a second decade from 2025 to 2034. And we celebrating us as an incredible people. That means that you might have missed the memo, but you know now, the entire world is in its second decade-long celebration dedicated to us, people of African descent. Go ahead and lift your head up, roll your shoulders back, and brush them off. You qualify. There's three pillars that we are prioritizing. They're powerful, yet simple. Recognition, justice, and development. I want you to keep the three of those right here in the back of your brain, but in the forefront of your spirit for the rest of this divine impartation of information that I believe is going to bless your life for the rest of your life. Recognition, justice, and development. Now, I start that way because some folk holding conferences about the decade, writing reports about the decade, giving the speeches about the decade. Let me tell you, as a founding dean, chairman of Urban Success University, I am parentally and prophetically proud of the geniuses of Urban Success University because they decided to build something. They decided to provide our community with a deliverable. They didn't want to just deliver a speech that our people would clap for and soon forget. My students didn't want to host another conference that everybody would forget about when they went home. They wanted to deliver an actual piece of community infrastructure. Wanted to build something our elders could use, something our businesses could benefit from, something our young people could have the ability to work inside, something our ministries and nonprofits could use to preserve their stories, and something that our children's 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 children could inherit. And so today, on Sabbath, on the first day of Black Business Month, I'm proud to officially open the 2026 school year of Urban Success University and publicly release registration for our back to school Black Business Month blitz of the kingdommarketplace.com. Family, registration is officially open. You can go to your completeyourprofile.com and complete your profile. Let me say it again. Completeyourprofile.com. Today, we are publicly introducing what the students of Urban Success University have been working on for the past 4.5 to 5 years. It's the world's first AI-powered generative engine optimized entrepreneurial ecosystem and Kingdom Community Business Referral Network. We call it the Kingdom Marketplace. Digital resurrection of Progress Plaza for the artificial intelligence age. And this may be the most consequential announcement in community Black business development since my spiritual father, Reverend Dr. Leon Howard Sullivan Jr., and the people of Philadelphia dedicated the original Progress Plaza in 1968. I know it's a bold statement. I'm making it 10 toes down in God because I believe that what we've built is the solution and answer to what I'm now going to alert you of, the biggest problem facing black businesses today that almost nobody is talking about. AI readability. Yup, AI is here. Get over it. But there's two sides to this coin. We're not talking about AI and creating graphics. Not whether or not you know how to use AI to write an email. Not whether or not you can make a funny picture. Not whether or not you can build and utilizing a chatbot. I'm asking every entrepreneur, every ministry leader, every nonprofit founder the question they need to be asked that not enough people have asked you. When someone asks an AI system to recommend a business like yours, does that AI system know enough about your business to confidently consider recommending you as the answer? Ladies and gentlemen, that's the emergency for the black business community that we have to address this Black Business Month. Your business may provide phenomenal service, an excellent product. You may have been serving your community, our community, for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. You may have trusted relationship, a powerful testimony, specialized knowledge, professional credentials. You've got established human history and a long track record of satisfied customers. But the question that I want to submit to you is, can AI understand all of that? Can it clearly and concisely determine who you serve, what problems you solve, what services you specialize in, which communities and geographic areas you cover? What differentiates and makes your business different? Why people trust you? What evidence supports your experience? And when exactly are you the right business for these AI machines to recommend? Because if your information, your history, your legacy, the problem you solve, your service area, if any of that information is missing, if it's scattered, if it's vague, if it's outdated, in a bunch of old websites, contradictory, trapped inside of one of my old paper or online directories, the machine, unfortunately, may not understand your real, true value. Ladies and gentlemen, you could be excellent in our physical community and still be unclear in the digital world. You can be respected by everybody who knows you and still be digitally invisible to everybody who needs to know you. That's what I refer to as the new digital divide. The first digital divide was about whether or not you had access to a computer and or an internet. Well, in the entrepreneurial digital streets that we find ourselves navigating through, the new digital divide is about whether the artificial intelligence systems can understand enough about your business to include you when people are asking for recommendations. And let me make sure that you understand it, because it matters. And I'll make sure you understand why it matters. Because AI recommendation exclusion, it can become economic exclusion. That can be devastating to your bottom line profitability. You want to know why? Because sales keep businesses open. Contracts keep businesses open. Customers keep businesses open. Referrals and recommendations, they're the lifeblood of a business. They're what keep businesses open. And our businesses can't afford to be missing when the next generation of customers ask, who should I hire? Where should I eat? Which black owned business is near me? Who can provide this service? Which nonprofit is doing this work? Which ministry serves families like mine? Who has experience solving this problem I'm dealing with? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the business landscape has dramatically shifted. Search has become much more conversational. Artificial intelligence is increasingly helping people compare, evaluate, summarize, and choose who they're going to do business with. Some of the age-old principles will always be true, like the fact that people do business with who they know, like, and trust. But AI is now the determining factor on who people get introduced to. AI is the new digital gatekeeper of the coin inside of our community. And the folk that claim to represent our interests for the past 4.5 to 5 years, as the situation has been rapidly developing, they've been giving us crickets. I'm on some Ezekiel 33, verse 6 and 8. I got to sound the alarm. May 19th, 2026, Google shifted from being a search engine to being an AI recommendation agent. Wait a minute. I might date myself, but I remember when Google was a noun, before the kids grew up and it became a verb. We used to go online and look something up on Google. Now we just Google it. That's not accidental. That's not coincidental. Google intentionally positioned itself as the 800-pound gorilla of information dissemination, i.e. the trendsetter. Well, watch it. It just set a new trend. May 19, 2026, publicly introduced what it describes in its own words as the biggest search upgrade in more than 25 years. Ladies and gentlemen, let me interpret that statement and translate it for you. It means that the internet, as we understand it, for the past 25 years has fundamentally shifted. Somebody got to explain that to the business community. Because Google has now made us aware that it's bringing in AI agents and deepening reasoning inside of the direct search experience. I call it the internet reset. And now listen, I'm not saying that the blue links are going away overnight, but they're rapidly fading. I'm saying the writing's on the wall, all right? And it's somewhat undeniable. The internet is shifting, as it has been, at a very rapid rate, from giving people links on a page for them to open up and evaluate, to helping people decide where to go, what to buy, who to trust, and which business to do business with. In our community, we had challenges when COVID hit and business went from brick and mortar to click and order. Some folks are still adapting to being thrusted into a marketplace they weren't trained for or prepared for and or trained how to navigate through once it emerged. Mom and them told us history repeats itself. And our community can't go through the same thing again. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing, expecting a different result? We learned the last time. We cannot wait another 5 years for somebody to effectively explain to us what's taking place. And even though I'm giving shallow depth to it, this is still by far an oversimplification. I just need to make sure that I sound the alarm and put it into language that we can understand the severity of the situation. Because we can't continue to afford, we can't afford to continue, let's put it that way, chasing yesterday's digital marketing strategies while the rest of the marketplace is preparing for the generative engine optimization recommendation economy. It's no longer the click win. It's the zero click win. We still relying on Instagram gurus trying to milk the last little bit they can out the old game. It's a new game, new rules. All right? Forget about this shaking to the new beat and all the little fancy. No, we over it. All right? That's why the Kingdom Marketplace matters. This is not another directory. Directories are over. Finito. I pride myself on the online directories, the in-person directories. So it troubles me to tell you all that work I put in is over. We're in a new era. And I need each and every single one of you to understand something. We know directories. I know them quite well. From 2007 to COVID, my team assisted 403 churches and communities in creating paper and community business and online directories. The receipts are the fact that 48,000 community business owners registered in those networks in 13 states. But I'm talking Georgia right now. We get into the nation. We in pre-launch. In Georgia alone, we developed 46 directories. They represent approximately 8,200 business owners. You're more than names inside of a friggin' list. Your relationships. I stood in your narthex. I stood in your fellowship halls, and I told you God was building something bigger. I was just trapped behind a bunch of non-competes and non-disclosures. Well, we free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we free at last. We're free to move to the next level. See, we connected those congregations, those neighborhoods, those organizations, those business owners, and those customers. But the paper directories, they were created before artificial intelligence recommendation environment existed. So they're antiquated. But the information inside of them is not. Okay? It's got to be extracted, restructured, updated, the people inside reconnected, and translated into language that the modern AI systems can interpret, verify, and therefore recommend. And so, no, by all means, we're not throwing that legacy away. We're digitizing it. We're resurrecting it. We're reconnecting it. And we're inviting everybody and a mama who got the spirit. You about light or darkness? You into that darkness? Stay over there. Bring that light over here and let it shine. We're inviting you to join us in the next generation of entrepreneurial community economic development. Our students have been working through the 46 Georgia legacy directories and inviting those 8,200 folks to get registered. I believe they've made it through 18. They got 28 remaining. And over the next 30 days, myself and my team are going to be calling through those remaining directories, getting reconnected with those legacy businesses, asking them if they're still open, if they're still taking customers, inviting them into the Kingdom Marketplace. And at the same time, we have open registration for new businesses, ministries, nonprofits, professionals, entrepreneurs, contractors. We're my content creators. We're the coaches, the consultants, the service providers, and you amazing community organizations. You do not have to wait for a call from us. You can go to completeyourprofile.com and completeyourprofile.com during this public pre-launch. You can register and get a personal gift from me. Receive free AI smart matching. You heard me, at no charge. I don't know what y'all say. If it's free, it's for me. We're a ministry. You know you can't beat God given. We want to pay it forward. Let me talk to you about it. Oversimplification by far. AI smart matching is designed specifically to help you translate what you know about your business into clear, structured, understandable, AI readable language. It's going to help you explain to the machines who you are, who you serve, what you provide, what problem you solve, where you provide that solution at, what differentiates and makes your business or nonprofit or ministry different, what experiences and trust signals have you established that support your work, and under what particular circumstances should your business, ministry, or nonprofit be considered for recommendation. Now, every activated Kingdom Marketplace profile is going to receive its own public webpage and shareable link for somebody. Mama and them, I know you might not have one for them cakes. Mama, we finna blow up them cakes. I need a red velvet. My birthday coming. I love me some brownies, mama. All right. We're gonna make sure that mama and everybody has a digital asset. Now, it's not the same as owning a complete custom web page, but it does give your business a dedicated web page where customers, potential partners, referral sources, social media platforms can learn about you. Your Kingdom Marketplace profile becomes an additional digital connection authority asset. Digital connection authority asset. Digital connection authority asset. You got to start developing them. Digital authority assets. Just so you got physical assets. Digital authority assets. I want you to get used to that term. Digital authority assets for your business, your ministry, and your nonprofit. The Kingdom Marketplace is a free one that we're making sure that every one of our businesses has. It's designed to work alongside of your social media, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Instagram, your Google business profile, your website, not to replace them. Because a lot of times our information is scattered and inconsistent. And consistency is key, because consistency is credibility for the AI recommendation agents. When the language across the digital landscape, particularly your digital presence, is clear and consistent, it can strengthen the trust signals that help the search engines, your potential customers, these AI recommendation agents understand, credential, and recommend your business. Now, I can't guarantee that registering is going to automatically place you at the top of Google. I'm not an SEO firm. No SEO firm, an ethical one, can do that. I'm not promising you that you're going to get recommended number one every time someone's searching for what you do. No GEO firm, an ethical one, could make that representation. What I'm promising is something more ethical and foundational. I'm promising that we are kicking off a movement that's going to help our community businesses, yours in particular, become clearer, more structured, more discoverable, and better prepared for AI assistant or assisted consideration and recommendation. No, I'm not guaranteeing recommendation. I'm guaranteeing I'm positioning a whole bunch of our businesses for stepping into that space, though, when nobody else is talking about it. When all of the major firms participating in this space have set a price point above the financial reach of the majority of our folk. How many of y'all know we serve a solution-solving God? That's the power that God's using us to provide our community businesses by making them AI readable and recommendation ready. Right now, during August, our pre-launch, founding registration and profile activation is absolutely free. You can pay it forward, put a couple pennies in the pockets of my prophetic princesses. You can choose optional implementation upgrades when you discern you need deeper digital work, authority development, Google business profile alignment. Maybe you need some effective content development, some expanded service pages, or just a deeper generative engine optimization implementation and support. There are dimensions to digital domination, y'all. Beginning September 1st is when we will implement annual and lifetime profile plans. And updated implementation pricing is going to take effect. Excuse me. Right now, everybody getting a free profile. If you decide to upgrade your implementation and become a category pillar above, I'm going to give you a lifetime profile. So you'll forever be able to post your products, your services, your blogs, your videos, your pictures, your events, as long as they adhere to the Kingdom Code of Conduct. Y'all know what I just said the way I said it. Okay. And it's in order for you to be able to forever have this lifetime digital authority asset, and for our geniuses to be able to showcase your profile and what they built out as portfolio experiences. Today's price is not tomorrow's price. You will not be able to secure a category pillarship for $250 one-time implementation cost after September the 1st. Google me. ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude. The closest comparable market service begins at $500 to $750 a month. You're sowing a one-time $250 seed into a group of our urban daughters. It's uneconomically feasible for us to be able to provide that price point after September the 1st. And so I want to stress what we're able to provide. Well, why are you providing it this way? Because we're a ministry. And we understand that there are an overwhelming amount of our businesses who don't even understand the severity of getting this done because they haven't been digitally educated properly on the importance of securing their AI readability for their businesses for the past 4 years. It was November 2021 when Google shifted from Google My Business to Google Business Profiles and made its number one and number two determinants of ranking from AdWord keyword to relevancy of search in specific geographic location. Well, that was 4.5, 5 years ago. All right. And so it was May 19th, 2026. We hadn't heard much from the Chamber of Commerce, not much from the business associations, not much from the leaders that profess to advocate for the black business community. But fact check me, all of this is real. As your leader, why they're not talking to you about it? That's not. I'm just finishing my assignment. This August, we're inviting our community to come in, establish a digital presence, receive free AI smart matching, and help us be used by God to populate the entrepreneurial ecosystem that God used his prophetic princesses to build last decade. Here's what makes it a true Urban Success University model. I alluded to it already. Make sure you understand 100% of the proceeds from pre-launch profile implementation work is being paid directly out to the Urban Success University genius who built the ecosystem and are doing the digital work. Our community businesses are receiving the digital implementation they need. Our students are receiving paid entrepreneurial experience. Our community's history is being digitally preserved, and the next generation is developing the professional skills, portfolio development they need. And our dollars are recirculating in our community, building both our existing businesses and our students' future. That's not charity. That's not a handout. That's kingdom reciprocity at its finest, y'all. Businesses getting the digital authority they need, and our genius is building the future. That's community building economic and entrepreneurial self-sufficiency. So I told you to remember those three pillars: recognition, justice, and development. Let's revisit them, shall we? Recognition, ladies and gentlemen, means that our businesses, our ministries, our nonprofit organizations, our founders, our elders, our community institutions, and our local hometown heroes are being seen and recognized for their contribution to our community. Their stories are being documented. Their services are being explained. Their contributions are being preserved for future generations to learn from. Their experience, our experience, entrepreneurially, economically, must not disappear because somebody retired, because a business closed or was rebranded, because a social media page was deleted, or because an old paper directory or the online version became outdated. Not under my watch. And there is, in my opinion, no better way to help our legacy, to help your legacy, to help our community legacy live into the next generation and beyond than to allow the students of Urban Success University to help digitize what we and our prophetic parents and generations before sacrificed to build. We're not only preserving names and telephone numbers, we got them in the old directories. We're preserving the practical wisdom of your entrepreneurial experience. We're preserving the relationships. We're preserving the mentorship. We're preserving the testimonies, the experience, his or her story, our history, our intellectual community property, our economic infrastructure that's behind that name, address, and phone number. See, what Amazing Grace and Leon Howard Sullivan, what my prophetic parents built, our generation received. And we have a responsibility. We have a messianic mandate to build for our youth. And that's what we've done. Our youth have built something for our elders. Everybody talking crap about them. I want to showcase what they built. I want to celebrate their foresight to do what no Chamber of Commerce did, no business association did. Built something for our elders, for themselves, and for future generations to inherit. Our legacy, our mentorship, our story, our knowledge, our relationships, our economic infrastructure. That's what I believe is recognition. Justice, not just us, real just us. It means we must not stop pretending that a boycott does anything for us, because it don't. Withdrawing our money is by itself not an economic development plan. We got to have some building after the protests. Now, don't get me wrong now. A boycott can create pressure. But simply taking our money away from somebody else doesn't automatically build our community businesses. Doesn't create jobs for our youth. Doesn't train the next generation. Doesn't in any way perpetuate the circulation of dollars through our community institutions. My spiritual father, Leon Howard Sullivan, taught something much deeper. He taught select patronage. That means we carefully examine where our money goes. Where in the world did we get manipulated to feel like our authority was forcing some people who don't give a frick about us to take our money? If you don't knock it the frick off. The devil's a liar. We withdrawing our economic support for them folk. From who exactly? From companies that profit from our community, while refusing to respect, employ, reinvest, and rebuild our community. Then we intentional about our actions. We're intentionally redirecting that support toward businesses and institutions that come from us, our community, that care about us, our community, that employ us, folk from our community, and that contribute to us. How would Daddy King say it? Let me make it plain. The development of our community. Yeah, we can't get to that. We can't effectively implement select patronage until we know who our businesses are, until we have them in one common place. That's what we need. Oh, that's what we've built. That's what our students have delivered. A common place where our community can find each other, learn from each other, compare the services that we got, connect with each other, refer each other, recommend each other. How about we get back to supporting each other? Because them folk ain't coming to save us. We got to save ourselves. That's why the Kingdom Marketplace isn't just the world's first AI-powered, generative engine optimized entrepreneurial ecosystem. It's also an AI-powered Kingdom Community Business Referral Network, designed so that a business in Columbus can be able to connect with opportunities in Atlanta, so that a ministry in Augusta can be able to discover a service provider in Savannah, so a nonprofit in Macon should be able to find a consultant, a trainer, a caterer. What else y'all need? Online designer, transportation company, technology provider, all within our community network. Yeah, we're going to transcend those congregational, denominational, community and geographic and organizational lines. A business owner should not have to depend entirely on who happens to be in their contacts. We're using AI to organize our relationships. Oh, yes, we are. To connect our cities, to rebuild referral pathway. That's justice expressed entrepreneurially, economically, and technologically. Let's talk about development as it applies to our people in our community. Development means we're not only talking about what our people need. We're giving them meaningful work. We're training them. We're mentoring them. We're allowing them to solve real problems for real businesses. And we're paying them for professional implementation. Long gone are the days where I need a little couple young folk to come over here. Intergenerational respect is divinely demanded in this community. We're helping to build portfolios, client service experience, business knowledge, research skills, project management experience and ability, artificial intelligence literacy, digital authority, expertise. And so, as the dean and chairman of USU, make sure that you understand that during our 2026 and 27 school year, the businesses that are registered inside of the Kingdom Marketplace are going to become living case studies and practical classrooms for the students of Urban Success Universities. Our students are going to help build and connect these profiles. They're going to study the needs of individual industries. They're going to learn how businesses more effectively communicate their value. They're going to examine how a ministry, how a nonprofit, how a contractor, how a consultant, how a restaurant, how a professional practice a community program, and or a retail business must present itself in the digital marketplace. The profiles that we're developing are going to become the case studies that are going to be shared within individual communities, by community, cities, by cities, states by states. You wanted nationwide exposure. There you go. Now, what we're establishing in Georgia, in the Kingdom Georgia Business Cluster during the fall semester, is the blueprint for expansion into additional cities and states. I already told you, community by community, city by city, state by state, nation by nation. It's a global movement. Now, we're not simply teaching the next generation how to use artificial intelligence to write a paragraph. It's not the agenda. We're teaching them how to use technology to solve a genuine economic problem in our community. Hope I've articulated it. There is a drastically growing need for businesses, especially ours, to organize their information, clarify their offers, develop their authority content, align their digital assets, and become easier for the AI-powered recommendation machines and even human beings to understand. And the market is somewhat prejudiced. For many small businesses, faith-based businesses, black-owned businesses, the professional market price for that level of digital generative engine optimization work is intentionally priced beyond their reach. How many of y'all know we serve a solution-solving God? He usually show up and show out. He did it through his prophetic princesses. I call them geniuses. Baby girl geniuses of Urban Success University. They've been studying this stuff for years. They came out the womb with these devices. All right? There's so much that this is not a phone. The phone is that thing grandmama had on the wall with the cord. We used to be watching videos on Friday night, talking to the honeys. No, this is a microprocessor in your pocket. It's for so much more than checking emails, for so much more than developing content, for so much more, right, than we're using it for. It literally removes the excuses and the geographic limitations from your business. We told the younger generation, get their head out their phone. No, 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 no. Got to embrace them understanding how to utilize this phone to assist us. Many of our daughters, they got the skills to pay the bills. They just don't have the practical examples to showcase them on. But our elder community businesses do. I know intergenerational revival, revitalization, and rebuilding of our business community. I don't know how simpler to explain it. Our geniuses, they learn how to provide the valuable digital implementation of generative engine optimization at a community accessible founding rate. There we go. That allows them to build their businesses, portfolios, showcase their skills, and perpetuate some positive professional income. At the same time, they provide this is a service project of theirs to the elders in their business community. It's a part of their Rosa Parks Brains Over Boobs movement. They're combating the over-sexualized, hyper-sexualized culture and social media pressure attempting to objectify them. As no one told you, there's a housing shortage in Atlanta, especially amongst our colleges. You know, you see talking about this big dorm that they building. Well, where are all the kids you displaced by the last one you blew up? Where they at? And the most readily available method for our daughters to perpetuate income, that they involve their hands on their knees, showing up their little booties moving. Instead of their hands on their Keyboards showing off their digital brilliance movement. Get it? Brains over boobs. This isn't a movement shaming our daughters. It's about expanding their choices. Our daughters should not be taught that being objectified or hypersexualized is the fastest available method to attention, opportunity, or income. Devil's a liar. Their intelligence, their minds, their brains has value. Their writing has value. Their research has value. Their creativity has value. Their leadership has value. Their technological abilities have value. Their divine digital brilliance has value. Their God-given genius has value. And I know my babies. I done raised them. All right. Y'all seen when we kicked off the first decade-long celebration of people of African descent, Reverend Dr. Joseph Lawrence Roberts was sending me around elementary schools. My 11th graders, this 2026-27 school year, are the pre-K kids I was talking to when we were closing out the 2014. All right? Let me tell you what I know about my daughters. They know the difference between morality and survival. Let me imitate them for a minute. They overgrown babies. They grown, but they babies. That's why I call them geniuses. Baby grown girl geniuses. Right? But they know the difference between morality and survival. Morality says, I don't want to do that. I don't want that. I don't like that. Survival says you got to do what you got to do. And our daughters wouldn't have to do a lot of the stuff they think they got to do if we supported them. A lot of them, ain't nobody talking about it. They spending $250 from a stripping license. Yup, the DeKalb Police Department sells our daughters a stripping license. The Atlanta Police Department sells our daughters a stripping license. In order for them to sell their bodies to deal with rent. $150 to the Secretary of State for them to LLC. $100 in their business bank account, they start developing business credit. $250, you could sponsor one in business. What? You didn't jump? Okay. Well, you could patronize one by raising your digital implementation and allowing her to make some back-to-school income based on her brains, not her boobs. Get it? Brains over boobs. Showing our daughters in high school and college and early adulthood that they can get a bag based on their brilliance, their professionalism, their entrepreneurial skill, and their divine dignity. They can use their minds to build businesses. And those businesses can assist them to survive the digital transition. They ain't got to do something strange for a little piece of change. They can hold on to God's unchanging hand and become researchers, writers, strategists, project managers, digital developers, and AI implementation professionals that our community needs. Instead of being treated as somebody else's product, they can build products, help our elders showcase their products, services, systems, companies, and be the developers of a community infrastructure of their own. They can own their own future. We got mamas that prayed in the dirt, literally, for the businesses we get to launch, the ministries we get to launch, the nonprofits we get to launch. And God doesn't give us dominion over people. He gives us dominion over resources. That's what AI is. It's a resource for us to use to get God glory from the story. Let me move along. Right? Y'all like, yep, you coming up on your 40-year preaching. You've been at it for a while. Listen to me. It means powerfully prophetic teaching. Let me tell you why we refer to the Kingdom Marketplace as the digital resurrection of Progress Plaza, because my spiritual father, Reverend Dr. Leon Howard Sullivan, wasn't an Orthodox preacher. He was a somewhat unorthodox preacher. I came from one. I guess I am one. One who believes that ministry doesn't stop at the benediction. One who understands that it's not enough to preach salvation on Sunday and watch God's people Sunday suffer on Monday. Suffer from unemployment, suffer from underemployment, suffer from digital discrimination and economic dependency from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all the way back up to Sunday morning. When you smile in their face, give them a good Easter speech and tell them put their last few pennies in the plate. No. Sully taught me that ministry must produce entrepreneurial and economic action, real results. Select Patronage confronted economic discrimination. OIC, Opportunities Industrial Centers, train people for jobs and careers. The 1036 plan, organized community capital. And Zion, his baby, the Zion Improvement Association, now the Sullivan Trust, created a vehicle for tangible community redevelopment. Progress Plaza created a physical marketplace that demonstrated that black ownership, investment, cooperation, and community development could produce something tangible. Sullivan carried his commitment to human dignity and economic justice far beyond Philadelphia. Took it all the way over to Africa and the global struggle against apartheid. That's the tradition that shaped my understanding of ministry. The Bible says it, makes it plain. If you train up a child and the way they should go, when they're older, they can't depart. I'm older now. I can't depart. That's why I'm committed to entrepreneurial ministry. That's why I'm so addicted to African Christianity practically applied in the urban American context. Because rooted in our African faith is us communally doing more than just praying. It requires the proclaimer, the preacher, the man and woman of God to do more than just preach. I got to train. I got to employ. I got to organize. I got to reinvest. We got to own. We got to build. We got to circulate our community resources, especially the gifts that God has given us. We got to develop our people. We got to protect their divine dignity. And we got to produce something that our community can use. We over the talking heads. And if previous generations can be used by God, then why not us? If Select Patronage, if OIC, if the 1036 plan, if the Zion Improvement Association, if Progress Plaza were being built for the first time today, they would not only exist as physical programs, they would exist as connected digital systems. I know. Listen, I got raised by Amazing Grace. I know if Mama Grace was alive, she'd be using data. Andrea Dash would be using artificial intelligence. That meant what? You don't know about computer for kids. She knew technology would be the great equalizer. Yeah, they would be organizing businesses across geography. They would be connecting education to paid implementation. That's what Amazing Grace did when she was teaching entrepreneurial classes inside of Progress Plaza, Many University. Hello. They would use ministry, entrepreneurship, technology, workforce development, and community economics to build our infrastructure. And it would look like what we are today, a social entrepreneurial enterprise ministry. Yeah, my prophetic parents, the Sullivans. Amazing Grace Banks Sullivan, Leon Howard Sullivan. They were our apostolic architects. Me, I'm just a divine digital builder. Y'all know I love to play in the dirt and online. All right, that's it. I'm Amazing Grace's little lightning rod. The lightning rod doesn't cause the storm. It just is a little higher than the house. Absorbs the power of the storm and grounds it, redirects it so it don't hit the house. Mama Grace always told me, baby, it got nothing to do with you, little king. It's about those coming up after you. God just allowing you to go through some stuff so you can teach the generation and those coming after you how to be able to get through it, holding on to God. That's why this Sabbath and this season is so much bigger than me. Now, I want to make sure that our students and the businesses that registered early understand that we were delayed, but we weren't denied. See, we originally expected to release the Kingdom Marketplace publicly last summer, May 31st, 2025, at Elizabeth Baptist Church. But because of the blocking of Willie Watkins' funeral home and him not paying his bill, he wanted to make sure he swept it under the rug, and he blocked it over at Elizabeth. But I came in the spirit of the one who sent me to decree and declare that you weren't blocked. You were divinely delayed, my daughters. Yeah, y'all. You heard about it. We faced opposition. We faced political pressure. We faced misrepresentation. We faced circumstances that could have caused us to quit, should have caused us to quit. But I told you, what appeared to be a denial was a divine delay. A year later, what God do? Reset the internet all by itself. May 19, 2026. Moved what was optional into a community necessity. Don't you love how God do? Ways above our ways and thoughts above our thoughts. We thought we were building the next generation. And God said, no, you're building something so much more necessary. Infrastructure for helping our businesses become understandable in the AI recommendation economy. What was delayed in 2026 when it was optional literally became the only viable solution available to our folk in 2026. The opposition didn't destroy the assignment. It sharpened it. Gave us time to understand the marketplace was shifting. And now, we're not releasing last year's directory. We've released tomorrow's entrepreneurial ecosystem today as we honor the life of our Urban Success University founder. The 2026-27 school year also begins an extraordinary divine season in the life of Urban Success University. 2026-2027 school year is a 20-year anniversary school year of the final public performance and life celebration of our founder, my prophetic big sister, the Yokemeister, Yolanda Denise Scott. That's a Scott woman. You got to put emphasis on that. King, the great Yoki of the Yokis, the young organization of kings internationally serving the Yokemeister, the prophetic princess of the generation before, whose language of living the dream taught us that it's not enough to tell people about the dream God gave you. You got to live the dream. You got to become evidence of it. You got to build something that proves the dream, like the word, can become and take flesh. And during the school year, we honor Yolanda's vision, her ministry, life, her apostolic artistry, her divine leadership, her living legacy. January 2007, King Holiday. We're going to celebrate the 20-year anniversary of her last public performance. Bernice and King Inc. still won't publicly release that tape. I publicly make everybody aware I signed a formal authorization asking Bernice to cut me out. And I know that that's Coretta's daughter. I know somewhere inside of herself, she's got to understand the premise of love and understand that Yolanda touches a group that she'll never be able to. And I have no idea why she won't release that tape. I want to watch it as much as you do. I had my home robbed in April 2024 because some students posted watching our version of it or our copy of it in my house. I got arrested, and as I was being bailed out, my whole house got robbed. Hard drive, 30 drawers. And then when we get out of January, we're gonna get to May 2027, and it's gonna commemorate 20 years since her ascension. And I feel it just like you do. But I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do. We are not going to honor Yolanda by allowing her work to be framed in a photograph or a video, an annual social media post, or a forgotten program in somebody else's controlled archive. We're going to honor her by continuing her mission that she charged us with. We're going to honor her by building Urban Success University and what she always believed it could become. A voice for our urban youth that couldn't be corporately or politically controlled. We're going to honor her through the establishment and development of the Yokis, the young organization of kings internationally serving. We're going to honor her, and we are honoring her by combining cultural education, leadership, entrepreneurship, ministry, service, technology, and youth development. We are honoring our founder by continuing to do in the next generation what our mothers and her continued to do in me and all of us. We're going to honor Yolanda by continuing to raise young people who don't merely repeat the language of the dream, but who possess the skills, the divine discipline, and the prophetic insight to continue it. I remember, as many of you have asked me what she said, she would often say that a dream that isn't dramatized can't be felt in the heart of the next generation. If it can't be felt in the heart of the next generation, it can't be carried. Yeah, I miss the Yokemeister too. But we gotta keep moving. I've begged Bernice, humbled myself all I could. I got attacked, and it hurts. But we anchor. Y'all know 2 Timothy 2nd chapter. You got to endure hardship as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. You got to endure the persecution. You got to endure the grief. We made it through the 20-year ascension of our mamas. We're in this school year, the 20-year ascension of Yolanda. And listen to me, USU. Grief cannot be the end of our apostolic assignment. We carry her forward, running our leg of the race, running a relay race, not a sprint. Sprint all about you. The relay race is about the team. And everything you need in the relay race, you need in the sprint, but it's not enough to win. See, in the relay race, you need some additional skill sets. You got to receive the baton without dropping it. You got to be able to pass the baton without dropping it. And if you ever aspire to a leadership position on this team, you got to teach others how to do the same. And the baton is our story, it's our legacy, it's our history, it's our forward movement. Yeah, it's a race. But the race isn't given to the one who runs fast, not to the swift. It's the one who endures. And the victory belongs to those who remain faithful, who endure, and who complete the assignment. That's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing this month. So I admit, transparently, yes, this is personal for me. August 31st, we're going to celebrate my 48th trip around the sun. Going to celebrate 40 years since Sully gave me a little license to preach. Now, it took place on Sunday night, y'all. That was August the 30th, 1986. I'm old school. They used to roll out the little pulpit on the floor for the mamas because they had a women go. I used to go behind the little one. And Sunday night, Sully told me to go behind that desk, and Mama Grace told me to tell y'all about this dream God had me keep having. Well, we're living a dream now. It wasn't until Monday morning, okay? All right, I don't know if it was after school or if I didn't go to school, but it was Monday morning. It was my 8th birthday, all right? They were slicing the cake, and I thought I was getting a mongoose. I wanted a mongoose. I didn't want a Diamondback. If y'all ain't up on BMX bikes, I wanted a mongoose. I got a Diamondback. And before I got my Diamondback, Sully gave me a little certificate. Like, it looked like something that Miss Levin would have gave me. That was my 3rd grade teacher. I'm just saying, like, what is this? Where the bike at, old man? I'm trying to go fly in the streets. It's so hard. Pop some wheelies and all that. 8 years old, run that bike. And so that's when Sully gave me the piece of paper. So technically that was Monday, August 31st, 1986. It was my 8th birthday. All right? It ain't about me. I'm making myself no reputation. I get excited, you know. Listen, we're going to celebrate the United Nations Day, International Day of People of African Descent on August 31st. All right? Forever, ever, ever. All right? This public release is also representing the continuation of the assignment I got from my spiritual mamas, all right? Like, you know, all the isms are based on insecurity, racism, and sexism. And so the black church oftentimes talk about racism, but we sexism it up. I'm just saying. We talk about spiritual fathers. I'm talking about my spiritual mamas. Okay? How I get like this. I was raised by Miss Minnie University and the Dash. You have no idea how much shit they made me read. You really don't want to know. Folk like, what seminary did you go to? You realize that the Master of Christian Educational Leadership and the Master of Divinity was developed by Harvard and Yale in 1860 to 1870? That curriculum ain't really been refined yet, okay? I'm 3rd generation. I read all that by the time I was 12. All right? And it was our mothers, okay? It was Amazing Grace. It was Andrea Dash. It was Cynthia Dolores Nodis Tucker. And then it was Marion Grace Segundi. HU, you know, Mama Ethics. Yup. They're the ones who got Sully, Herbie, and Gray to walk me into 3340 Peachtree, Buckhead, Atlanta, 27 years ago, Fran Tarkington's entrepreneurial development and technological nucleus, and place me behind the curtain. Damn, that was 27 years ago. Yeah, that wasn't about positioning me to be introduced to a businessman. It was about preparing me for this moment. It was about positioning me to understand how entrepreneurship, mentorship, technology, communication, systems, and practical implementation could be used to develop people. They were preparing me for this moment. Now, the last assignment I got from Mr. Chicago, Jersey Joe, I talked about a little bit earlier. Let me fine tune it. Reverend Dr. Joseph Lawrence Roberts, Urban Success University's founding pastor. I am our founding dean. Uh, her goddaddy, William Herbert Gray, was Yolanda's pick for founding chairman. Uh, Jersey Joe was our founding pastor. When Herbie ascended in 2013, it was heavy for me. We had my father, January 2014. We had Miles Monroe, November 2014. Joe kind of took that interim chairman position. We lost Joe 2015. This is now my second decade, or second full school year in my second decade as chairman. The last thing Joe gave me as our founding then chairman and founding pastor, he entrusted my team. All right, I don't do it by myself. It's a lot of folk behind the scenes. To responsibly respond meaningfully to the United Nations decade-long celebration of people of African descent. And so we pressed through the first half of the decade with our Success for Teens curriculum, start digitizing that. But the second half of the first decade was spent, invested building this infrastructure. Now, we're utilizing the opening years of the second decade, populating it. And so we are inviting, as I said, all legacy members, and inviting new members to register, training our students, connecting mentors, digitizing our community history, organizing a new model of community economic development for the AI era. And so, in closing, therefore, on this Sabbath day, August the 1st, 2026, first day of Black Business Month, I, King Jarlo, servant leader of the Yokis, chairman and founding dean of Urban Success University, declare that the 2026 and 27 Urban Success University school year is open. Who closing? Devil's a liar. Yokis are established and mobilized. The Kingdom Marketplace, back to school, Black Business Month Blitz has officially begun. And the public pre-launch registration of the Kingdom Marketplace is officially open. AI Smart Matching registration opportunity is open to all businesses, ministries, nonprofit, entrepreneurs, and community organizations. Our Begeniuses are available and prepared to provide high-level generative engine optimized implementation. Our young people are prepared to learn from our elders. Our elders are now being invited to bring their legacies. Our businesses, you're being invited to bring your products, your services, your experiences, and your practical authority. Our ministries and nonprofits, you are being invited to document your impact digitally. Our professionals not involved in the entrepreneurial space, you are being invited as well to become mentors. Our entire community is being invited to reconnect. Our people, all of us, are invited to practice select patronage by being intentional about finding, referring, supporting, and building the businesses that reinvest in our community and in our community's collective future. This Black Business Month, we are not just celebrating Black business. We are building Black businesses into the next dimension of digital domination. We're establishing our presence as a business body in these AI-powered streets, making our experiences easier for the AI machines to discover and recommend, making our value of our community businesses, nonprofits, and institutions easier to understand, connecting our communities. Gone are the days where we work in these silos. We're using technology to provide incredibly powerful resources to under-resourced areas. Yeah, we are employing our youth. We over policy. Policies are important, but this election season, we're demonstrating the power of preparing and building pipelines. That's what we're building. The infrastructure for referrals, patronage, mentorship, visibility, and community. And so you're invited. And as your dean, let me give each and every single one of you some homework. Yeah, I got an assignment for every participant in our community. Business owner, your assignment is to go to completeyourprofile.com. Ministry leader, your assignment is to go to completeyourprofile.com. Nonprofit leader, your assignment to go to completeyourprofile.com. Let me make sure I don't miss anybody. If I do, charge it to my head, not my heart. Entrepreneurs, contractors, coaches, consultants, content creators, educators, restaurant owners, retailers, child care providers, home service professionals, health and wellness professionals, community program leaders, legacy institutions, mama, and all of them. Come on. Go to completeyourprofile.com and register. Make sure our community knows who you are. Tell us who you serve. Tell us what you provide. Tell us the story behind what you built. Allow our team to help organize that information into clearer AI readable language. Establish your profile. Share your page. Connect with the community. Refer another business. Mentor a student. Choose the level of implementation and support that you and your business need. But most importantly, don't miss becoming a part of the digital resurrection of Progress Plaza. Because we over running our lips. Jesus said, you worship me with your mouth, but your heart is far from me. I don't know about you, but I got the heart to build our businesses and our communities. Time for talking over. It's time to build great ones. Time to build your gifts, build your story, build your experience, build your business. Let's build your ministry. Let's build your nonprofit. Let's build your organization. Let's build your brilliance. I ain't asking for much. Bring that testimony the world has not yet heard. Bring that gift. God gave it to you. And it's going to make room for you. But the world has to be able to discover, understand, and recognize the gift. You better stop hiding. Time to showcase what God has given you for the world. Let's prophetically prophetize our passion, our purpose, our potential, and our community experience. Let's receive income without surrendering our integrity. Let's develop technology without losing our humanity. Let's build our businesses without separating them from our ministries. Let's practice faith in a way that produces jobs, skills, dignity, ownership, and opportunity for the next generation. Let's get God glory from our story. Let's make the Yokemeister the great Yoki proud by living the dream. Let's honor my prophetic parents by building the digital infrastructure our generation requires. Let's honor Gray, Sullivan, Roberts, our mamas, our mentors, our elders, and every community builder whose shoulders we have the opportunity to prophetically stand upon. Let's show our children that we did not inherit this magnanimous history just to run our lips about it. We inherited it to build upon it. Recognition, justice, development. That's the global framework. Urban Success University is the educational and workforce development engine. The Kingdom Marketplace, our community economic entrepreneurial development deliverable. Our geniuses, they're performing the implementation. My young kings, the yogis, carrying the spirit of service. Select patronage has reactivated our economic power. And together, we're answering the question that our founder, Yolanda Denise King's father, Martin Luther King Jr., left us with. Not in words, but by tangible deeds, by a real plan that builds. Not just yappity yap yap protest, then profit. No, protest and build. Martin Luther King Jr. asked us, where do we go from here? Community or chaos? I can't tell you what Ebenezer or the King Center's answer is. I can tell you that realizing the dream, I can tell you that Urban Success University, I can tell you that the Kingdom Marketplace, our answer is community. Our answer is cooperation. Our answer is ownership. Our answer is technology with a prophetic purpose. Our answer is youth development and paid opportunity. Our answer is preserving the wisdom of our elders while equipping the genius of our children. Our answer is we grow together. And we build for our children. Black, white, orange willow stripes, green with pink polka dots, wealthy, poor, and everything in between can grow together. August the 1st, 2026, I have personally donated 33 hours a week to the Atlanta campus of USU since August the 4th, 2025. I have just eclipsed 1,700 hours. That's my seed toward Yoki 2.0. Our founder, Yolanda Denise King, is Yoki 1.0. Yoki 2.0, that's Yonda Renee King, Martin Luther King Jr., and Martin Luther King III, and Andrea Waters King. Have a daughter. It's the granddaughter of Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King. She's accepted her call to ministry. She's charged us, unlike what King Inc. and the King Center and all them folk want, they're raising $100 million for Martin Luther King Jr.'s 100th birthday. Yolanda, in realizing the dream, is raising 100 million hours of service. You know, service is the Scott superpower. January 17th, 1994, was Coretta Scott's first day of service for the King holiday. January 18th, 1994, is the day King Ink, Dexter's monetization of his daddy's message, killed the youth department, creative arts department, took the staff from 71 to 14. January 5th, 2012, Bernice and Dexter ran Martin Luther King III off. 2022. See, Yolanda birthed the creative arts department of the King Center, just like Edith Scott Bagley birthed the creative arts department of uh, Cheney University. Now, on Dexter's life-going celebration, Martin Luther King III said, me and Bernice, we're going to mention all the women who built this, especially my Edith, KJ's hip-hop hermeneutics professor, who wrote my mother's autobiography that Bernice wouldn't have even known existed until after Yolanda died. We ain't heard much from Bernice. Martin III gave her an option. Cynthia Dolores Nottis Tucker, Shirley Chisholm, Edith Scott Bagley, Coretta Scott King, Amazing Grace Banks Sullivan, Marion Grace Segundi, Rosa Louise Macaulay Parks, Andrea Dash Gray, Amelia Isadora Platts Boynton Robinson. These women were foundational pillars. Cynthia Dolores Nottis Tucker, Rosa Louise Macaulay Parks, Coretta Scott King, Edith Scott Bagley of the National Political Congress of Black Women. 1995. See that picture? Coretta, Edith, Yolanda, Bernice, Rosa. October 2025, excuse me. October 2022, the dying wish of Cynthia Dolores Nottis Tucker was that we get the real story of her and Rosa Parks. On October 2022, Lonnie Macaulay, Rosa Louise Macaulay Parks' great nephew, and Soleil produced the Peacock's Real Rebellious Rosa Parks Tells a Real Story. They wanted to watch it in the King Center Auditorium and go up to the Rosa Parks room and take selfies as they did in the 2011 Watch Night party that I threw. And the King Center denied them. Next, Bernice put her Hulu documentary up there. We don't fuck with Bernice or Warnock. My students and past alumni do not consider Bernice King to be Mrs. King. First off, well, which one is Mr. King? Deidre or Bernice? Like, what's really going on here? No. Andrea Waters King is who the students and alumni of Urban Success University, from my Philly campus to my Atlanta campus to my Houston campus to my North Carolina campus to my Wilmington campus, even my LA campus that voted, are, and, you know, they were celebrating what they were celebrating over at the Carter Center on Thursday. But when you look through all of Bernice's pictures, you're going to notice seems to be one face not there. I'm looking real hard. I'm looking real hard. I'm looking real hard. I'm looking real hard. I don't see, let me see. I don't see Martin Luther King III. So on behalf of Urban Success University, we want to kick off this school year with a believing soldier Chris salute to Daddy with Daughter General Martin Luther King III, carrying on the legacy of his father. King Center ain't the King Center. It's King Ink. It's ran by Leah Weber. You know, Dexter married Labby Weber's daughter. That's Race Point Global. It's a cultivated conversation. Bernice gonna tell you about every disaster taking place in the world, and ain't gonna do shit for nobody. She's gonna tell you, "Give me some money, give me some money." Fuck out of here. It's USU. You know the vibes. We live. 2026, 27 school year is officially open. It's your chairman and your dean. We are officially now independent social entrepreneurial enterprise ministry. Exactly the way Yolanda envisioned us.